I will be remaking Dead Rails in 1 week. I'm going to come up with the idea and build it, and my friend will be coding it. It's day 1, so let's get started. I'm just going to go ahead and build a makeshift lobby so my coder can start working on the matchmaking system. Alright, I threw together just a couple parts so the coder can make the lobby system where you get teleported to the actual game here. We're right now in the alien cart, which is the main place, and I'm gonna need time to build the lobby and make the carts for the game. So for now it's just a couple parts, and I'll get back to you when I actually make something for it. Alright, it's the end of day 1. Here's the finished alien cart. It's kind of silly, but I like it and I think it's funny and good for the game. Kind of looks like it's hovering. There's some lines back here to make it look like it's moving when you're actually in the game. And here's what I've got in the lobby so far. It doesn't really have anything filled in, but there's a little Robux shop here. Here are the cards so you can enter the game. Today the coder got done the lobby system, so you can actually enter a lobby, choose how many people you want, and start a game. Up to 8 players. You can create it, and then your friends can join, and it'll start in 20 seconds. And that's all we have for day 1. Tomorrow I want to fill in the lobby a little bit more, and then of course get started on the actual game. Alright, it's day 2 now. I don't remember where I left off, because it's about the end of the day that I'm recording this now, but let me go through all the things that I remember I changed since yesterday. First of all, I got rid of the base plate, so we're actually in space now, and I added this sort of hovering effect to the platforms we're on, so it makes a little bit of sense. And I forgot last time, so I actually implemented the low gravity. Super easy, just change a couple settings. Put a little bit of music in here. And then, like I said yesterday, the lobby system works. And we changed the fonts here and places to kind of fit a space theme. Over here I put an update countdown. Obviously it's not going to say anything until we have an update countdown ready. And I made this tree and this aquarium over here hover up and down. And one of my friends that's a great builder wants to help me with this as well. So they made some new alien cart models. And I might use these another day, but for now I want to keep that one. Although these are much better than what I made, obviously. I think mine's kind of silly, but we'll see about changing it because I have some more ideas for that. But let me move over to the main game and show you what we have there. Alright, here we are in the main game. As you can see, a lot got done here. We built a little lobby starting area for you to spawn in when you get here. And I put some bunk beds over here because I want to put some lore and story into the game, but that's going to be if we get everything else done in time. But for now, there is some stuff here that we can work off of later if I decide to add that. There's just a bunch of plants and a nice starting area to leave on your cart. And up here, you'll see a number. This will be in every outpost, every X amount of studs that I decide later on to indicate how far you are in the game. And if we hit play, you'll see that once again the low gravity is implemented. There's some music, and we're working on an inventory system now for tools, weapons, and materials, because I've got some ideas for using the tools, crafting weapons, making this workbench here, but I'll go into that into more detail when it's more finished. I can't be too certain about anything this early on, but once again, the cart works, and you can stop it, and this button changes color, and we've got a long road ahead, so there's a lot of back-end stuff that has to be worked on early, but you can still see that there's quite a bit of progress here. And I'll show you again tomorrow on day 3 what more we do. But wait, before you see what happens on day 3, I just want to go over a few things. If you're wondering why I haven't uploaded in over a month, it's because I got scammed out of $70 by an editor to edit this video. And it was actually done over 3 weeks ago, towards the end of February. So everything you see in this video is content in the game that was done in February. And there's actually so much more to see now. Like a new crafting menu with more tools, weapons, armors, accessories, more aliens, 20 locations. There's just so much more. Cart skins, cart upgrades, progression. I don't want to show anything off and spoil it, but I highly suggest you just go in the game and play it, because it's far different and far better than what you see in the video today. Anyway, let's continue. Alright, it's day 3 now. I haven't really done a lot today, but while I was sleeping, the builder that started working with us expanded the lobby area a little bit. So now we have these dead ends that have some floating trash. I'll show you now when you go in the game that it actually hovers up and down to simulate floating. And these trees sway in the wind a little bit because yes, there is wind in space. Don't listen to what school told you. And if we move over here to the main game, you'll see that the inventory system is has continued to be worked on, and we've got a section up top for items and weapons, and a section below for materials. Over here on the cart, there's a work in progress little thing that you're going to use to craft the workbench, and the cart's not going to move right now because I stuck some items on it. But you can see you can drop items to other players, and they can pick it up by stepping on it, and you can equip weapons for harvesting or fighting. It will look better, but for now, you can at least equip it. And that's about it for day 3. Can't do a whole lot every day, but tomorrow I want to work on some enemies and some locations to travel to. It's the end of day 4 now, and of course I've made a bunch more changes I'm going to go through with you. First of all, I changed the cart to this new model that I showed before, but this is actually a version that I made myself in Blender because the other one had a couple issues. So it feels a little bit more like an alien cart. There's an open back end here if we want to add more carts that you can attach to it later. And here are some of the first harvestable objects that if we go in game we can equip our harvesting knife and see that you can actually already harvest them and get materials for it. So these will just give you space rocks, and there's not any plans yet specifically for the materials, but there will be by the end of the 7 days. So you see, you break that and you get 100 space rocks. Obviously that's just temporary. And then we come over here onto the new cart. This is a little blueprint zone where you're going to use space rocks and metal scraps to build the workbench. I've also been working on the first random locations that you can get to. This one is just a abandoned, destroyed space station that you can parkour through and harvest some metal scraps. I haven't implemented that part yet, but it won't be hard. And then the second location I started working on is another simple one, and it's these alien-esque outer islands where there will be alien enemies, but those are not done yet. And it's pretty simple. There's just rocks for you to collect. So these first 2 zones I made are really just resource-esque zones that aren't too hard. This one has rocks to get your space rocks, whatever those will be used for. And it doesn't work right now, but it will. Just a couple of bugs that need to be fixed tomorrow. And the random island, random location generation is also in place. As you can see up here, all these islands are randomly generated. There's only 2, so it's not very varied, but it will be. And tomorrow I'm gonna add more islands, maybe more carts, more weapons, actually get the workbench going, and just fix up a couple things, add some sound effects. But that's about it for day 4. I think we've made really good progress, and by the end of the 7 days, we'll have a totally playable game that you guys can enjoy. Day 6. I know I skipped day 5, but don't worry, I was busy working on the game. Here's the layout for the outpost for now, just something I threw together so you can have a sort of rest stop at every 10,000 studs. Big sign up here, then some outpost signs. On the left is a rest area that you can just chill, maybe there'll be some mechanics here later. And then over here is a little hub where you'll find a revive station, because the game is not easy. Even just falling off the map can get you killed, so your friends can revive you here. And besides that, we started working on enemies. I made 3 new areas that I'm not going to show you because I want to leave some things for you guys to find yourself when you play. Here's the blaster alien. He shoots like a shotgun blast of bullets at you, and it does a lot of damage. So you gotta know when to attack this guy. You probably want a strong weapon so you can take him out quick. And the inventory and the harvesting knife is all done, so you can harvest metal and asteroids. And then you can build the workbench here, which will let you craft a katana and some other things I'm not going to spoil yet. Again, I want you to see some of it for yourself when you play the game. And here's a basic alien. He'll just whack you with his arms. He's just moving around right now because we're testing AI. And those are the only 2 enemies we have so far, but there will be plenty more, if not tomorrow, then after release of the 7 days. But that's all I want to show you for day 6. We have a lot of work to do and a lot of things to finish tomorrow. But if you've enjoyed the video so far, subscribe and comment what you want to see in the game, whether that be new areas, items, enemies, mechanics, whatever. I'll see you on day 7. It's day 7 and we are done with the game, and I'm super proud of what we were able to accomplish in just 7 days. Some systems are pretty scuffed and not fully finished, but you know, there's only so much time in that 7 days. But there's a little ending here where you get to the planet that's talked about in the description of the game. You have to destroy this satellite, which has a lot of health, and while you're doing so, some enemies will pop up on their own carts to attack you and stop you. I added revive stations at the outpost. There's new items, new places, new breakables, materials, enemies, a lot. Let me show you a couple. Here's one of the new locations, the Ethereal Gardens. Here you'll find one of every enemy, the basic alien, a blaster alien, and a sniper alien. And on top of that, if you can conquer these guys, there's a couple Starshade breakables here, which if you destroy them, they're easy to destroy. They'll drop their mystical pink branches, which can be used to craft a jetpack. That's not super good because it's just the basic jetpack, but hopefully it'll save you from falling off into the void if that happens to you. Or maybe you could use it to fly up here more effectively rather than trying to jump up to him. Or if you're on the destroyed station, then you could easily get around here without worrying about falling off. But let me go into the game and show you how some of these enemies work. I gave myself a bunch of materials so I can go ahead and craft the workbench and show you how that works. Here it is on your cart. You just step on it when you have the right materials, click on it, and you've got a crafting menu here. I'm going to make a katana and the jetpack, and I can equip both of those. And now the katana is really good for fighting enemies, but it can't harvest anything like the knife. And the jetpack, of course, just lets you go up slowly but surely, and there'll be a better one later that you can unlock. The sniper alien's already shooting at me, and they do have sound effects, but I can't record with the audio because there's music that I can't turn off yet. And I made the hitboxes for your weapons pretty big, so hopefully if you're good enough you can avoid their attacks. The blaster alien shoots pretty good, so you want to dodge him, go in and attack, and then move back, and you still might die. It's not easy. But if I was paying attention more, I probably could do it. But these guys are good, so you have to be good to fight back. But if you guys have any ideas for new locations, enemies, breakables, materials, items, weapons, anything, let me know in the comments and I'd be happy to add some of them. I also still like to put some sort of asteroids on the road or something that you have to run into that stops you once in a while. Oh, and one more thing, I also got a artist to make an icon for the game. I extended a little bit for the thumbnail, but the icon looks great. Put a little description in. I changed some settings, made sure the server size was good. I'll make sure there's private servers that are free, so you guys can get into lobbies easier if people are trying to troll you. But that's about it. I'm really happy with what we did in 7 days. Of course, the game's linked below, so you can play it and tell me what you think and tell me what you want me to add. But by the time you see this video, we'll probably have fixed any of the bugs that we know of and can find while playtesting. Maybe even add more content. The builder that hopped on the project with us is reworking some of the previous models, because a lot of the stuff in this game is just free models I found and put together. So they're reworking a lot of things like the jetpack model, the workbench, and a few other things. I'll put them on screen now. So before this video is even up, we're already working on adding more content, replacing old content, refining things, fixing bugs, and there's much more to come if you guys like the game. But that's about it. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I'll see you next time.